Just been used to this.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Administrative Committee meeting of the Moscow City Council. To my right is Councilwoman Ann Zabala. To my left is Councilwoman Brandy Sullivan. I am Gina Terusio. To our left is Gary Riedner, our City Supervisor representing city staff. Okay, first item is approval of Administrative Committee February 12th minutes.
They look good to me.
Okay, they did to me as well. All right, we'll approve those, Mr. Riedner. Second item is the Idaho Unified Certification Program, Elisa Anderson.
Good afternoon.
Hi there.
Just doing a little bit of a housekeeping item with you here today.
Okay.
As a direct and also a subrecipient of U.S. Department of Transportation funds, we have a document that we need to have have approval for the city to sign along with a resolution, but what it's asking is that we are recognizing that the Idaho Department of Transportation has the Idaho Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program within their organization. Each state has to have what we call a DBE program, Disadvantaged Business Enterprise. And so Idaho Transportation Department has elected to do that under their Civil Rights Office for the state of Idaho. And so through that program, they have set up their Unified Certification Program, which goes through the process of helping disadvantaged businesses apply for their certification, or unfortunately, if someone is to be decertified, they go through that process. And on their website, they have a list of all of the Idaho DBEs, and it doesn't necessarily mean that someone is a business that is located in Idaho. You can have an Idaho DBE and be located elsewhere. So when we have projects that we put out to bid, we make sure that we send the link to the project RFQ or RFP, whatever it is, making the DBEs aware that there's opportunity to look at our projects also. And that's part of our requirements with the amount of federal and state funding that we have. And so today what we have is the acknowledgement statement, the authorization of agreement, and then also the corresponding resolution.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Mm-mm. Okay, so consent. Mr. Riedner? We
Yes,
recommend
ma'am,
approval?
that would be appropriate.
Okay, awesome, thank you. Do you get to stay up here for this one or not? Our next item is resolution appointing new city ADA coordinator, Mr. Riedner.
Okay, what you have before you is a resolution updating and appointing a new ADA coordinator. Stephanie Claus, our former city clerk, was our first ADA coordinator. She hasn't been with us for a couple of years. That duty has fallen to Lori Hopkins, our current city clerk. It seems a little bit more expeditious to go ahead and transfer that duty to Elisa and have her act, because she's dealing with a lot of the ADA issues now anyway. So there's a resolution that is included in your packet in order to go ahead and appoint her to that duty.
Okay, any questions? Concerns about Elisa in general? Okay.
I wish there were two of you.
Yes.
Me too.
So as much as I would like to have you on the regular agenda, let's do consent for that.
Thank you.
On Monday, yes, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Is a question in advance. So we'll recommend approval of that, Mr. Riedner.
Thank you.
Okay, the next and final item on our agenda is the Moscow's Farmers Market Handbook. Daniel Stewart. I'm kind of excited about this, I'm just
Thank you.
saying.
Good afternoon, council members. Gary.
Good afternoon.
Maybe pass these around. There's one for you as well. I know these are in the packet, but this is the finalized version for this here.
Wow.
So today, what I have before you is our new Moscow Farmers Market Vendor Handbook. This has been a work in progress since the end of 2017 season. We've taken our packet of policies and revised as needed and clarified some language. And then created a handbook spelling out the histories and philosophies of our market to begin with, so that our existing and new incoming new vendors will have a strong grasp of who we are, where we came from, and where we're going to go.
Yeah.
Some notable changes that we've made, obviously. Yeah, thank you. Notable changes for the since this is a transitional piece from the policies to this forward, we've created the handbook, obviously, and included some grammatical and mechanical edits. We have table of contents, table of policies, things of that nature. We developed a vendor category section.
Yes.
We've taken that out of our policies, separated the definitions from the specific requirements, and then reassigned the requirements to the jury process in Appendix 6. That's also a new addition that you'll see. We also have, which was reviewed and approved by council this past fall, our new fee structure.
Indeed.
We've given that an appendix. Well, it's always existed in an appendix, but we've updated the appendix and then included a sort of a worksheet for folks to kind of have some aid in understanding how their fees will be applied throughout the season. Where else we have? Oh, with our youth vending, we've increased our age from 11 to 16. So that's a notable change there. We have a lot of excited individuals in that age range looking to start new businesses and explore that, and
That's a good thing.
made a lot of sense to us there. Specific policy additions that we that have not been seen in years past. One kind of funny one was the prohibition of generators. We've
yeah.
always had that in verbal form, but never in writing, so we've added that. We've updated our contact information and included reference to some impending FSMA changes, the Food Safety Modernization Act. It will play an effect on certain farmer vendors. And then Appendix 6 is our jury process, specific
Yes.
requirements, site visits. So our goal was to compile all of the separate parts of market registration and vendor attendance into one hopefully easy to navigate handbook, including the policies. And that's what you have before you.
Do you have any questions?
I'm just curious, how will the vendors receive the packet? Is that?
Yeah, absolutely. We do a mailing every year, so we're currently, it includes a few other documents that are required. So we're, as we speak, building those right now.
Great.
And then, with the review process, this was actually really exciting for me to be a part of sort of the strategic planning process, and then also work closely with our commission. We were able to even create a couple of ad hoc committees to look at this. So I think all in told we had 15 people just looking through and reviewing and cross-checking and referencing.
Go ahead.
If a vendor joins mid-season, at that time, will they be given one of the handbooks?
Most certainly.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
I'd be showing them off if I were you. This is
Yeah.
a huge amount of work, first of all. I said this upstairs, but I want it on the record as well. This is a huge amount of work and a light year step ahead of where you were when I was there the last time. So I appreciate it. It is concise. I think it's very clear. Love the table of contents. Yeah, this is a humongous step forward. So be proud of yourself and do hand these out judiciously, but hand them out.
Yes.
So I'll be nice. Shall we do consent with this one?
Sure, yeah. I
I'd
don't
rather
think
have
they
you
would-
stand up in front of all of us, but we'll do consent. I really wholeheartedly recommend approval of that. It's very nicely done,
Thank you.
okay?
If I could just make
Sure,
a comment.
please.
Thanks for your appreciation of the work that went into this. As you know, from where we started off a couple of years ago, where the policies came through, they were updated in several different places.
Yeah.
Having it in one document that people can reference in an easy-to-use format is incredible. And I think it just shows the professionalism that the market is as it moves forward. The Farmers Market Commission assisting with that, staff support, having Daniel there with some history behind him now, I think is just going to keep adding to the success of the farmers market. And I know the vendors will appreciate having this information upfront, accessible to them from the very beginning.
I even appreciated the map. The map is nicely done too. So I agree. I think it is a step where we wanted it to go. It's heading towards a nicely run, easy, clear organization.
Yes, that was a benefit on my part. It seemed like a lot of the pieces were there. It just needed to find a way to get them together. And so we've worked through that. It was quite a bit of work, but I'm really proud of it. Like I said, thanks.
Yeah.
And Daniel's been in his office just methodically copying this, punching it, putting it together.
I have some help there too.
He did.
That's good.
One other question.
Sure.
I apologize for not knowing this, but is there a SNAP component to the Moscow's Farmers Market?
Most certainly.
And is that something that's in here, or it's just not really considered to be a part of what should be in the vendor handbook? At a glance, I didn't see it, but.
Right. Our SNAP benefits are facilitated through a community partner, Backyard Harvest. And so they do a lot of the legwork on that side for us in organizing vendor guidelines and keeping us up to date on how the benefits can be used or cannot be used. So the short of it is, no, it's not in our vendor handbook specifically.
So if the vendors had questions about that, they would be directed to Backyard Harvest?
Yeah, and certainly I think that's something that we could integrate in the future, is these
Certainly.
are the different ways that market goers can pay for their wares. So that could be an informational piece that could be added later on.
Yes, most certainly. It's not necessarily that they're only directed to Backyard Harvest. We have that information available as well.
Don't you talk about it in the weekly farmers market update too? Don't
Absolutely.
you talk about SNAP benefits? So people, I think it's good to put it in there eventually, but I do think they have a concept of it because you hear it a lot.
Yep. And just to plug for it, we're building up the programming this year, so I'm pretty excited to see what we can bring to the table to further educate our community on the benefits they can receive at market.
That's great.
Since we do have a little time, maybe Daniel could talk a little bit about the social media aspect of what you do during the market itself to update the community. And the vendors, of course, have access to that as well. Correct?
Most certainly, yes. Yes, we have 3 main streams that we're using now: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And we just follow some basic measures to alert folks on when and where they can utilize their benefits. Last year, Zach worked with the director of Backyard Harvest, Misty, to create an informational video. You can find that on our social media, and I believe a link on the website. They did a terrific job. And then past that, some of the things I'm looking forward to this season are expanding that that channel of messaging through social media. There's a lot of fun things that you can do. Facebook Live posts. We have some interest in programming from Backyard Harvest to help expand some of that outreach. And so we're kind of partnering to sort of build up intermarket marketing for SNAP benefits.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah.
And while we've got you here and have a little time, do you mind speaking to the different commissions manning a farmer's market table? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, no,
Because I haven't had that actually explained to me yet. It's a question I've intended to come to you with, but I'll ask it right now.
Oh, that's fine.
Thank you, Daniel.
We have an area set aside now for tabling. We tried last year in the bus stop in Friendship Square. It really allows for a separate specified designation our city, we have like a city tablecloth and a blue umbrella to really identify this is where the community can learn more about our commissions. With 26 markets and 12 commissions, we're aiming for 2 tabling days per commission. That kind of flexes. Some like to come more, some can't make it all the time. But we try to feature a different commission each week so that there can be some focus. And then the commissions can, that's their opportunity to really explain to the public on, the things that they're looking at, the history of the commission, and how to be a part of,
That's cool.
really the commissions take that opportunity to explain what specifically they're working on. And
Yeah.
A great venue to be able to reach a lot of people. That's great.
Great recruiting tool as well.
it certainly is.
Cool.
I had a question. So with
Certainly.
educational institutions not being able to participate as vendors, I'm curious about programs like the Summer of Science, the pilot program from last year that I believe is going to happen again this year. So what does that look like as far as application and
So
getting into the market?
that's a separate process altogether. They're a program sponsor. Right now we're basically working at an in-kind relationship. They host a lot of educational opportunities for the youth. I think I don't have the numbers in front of me, but there was about 700 science kits handed out throughout the summer to the youth. In various displays and programs developed within the tent. So it's not specifically as if, so the U of I isn't vending. They're running the programs for us.
Are they the only ones?
No, and we'll be developing further programming this year as well. We partner with Eat Smart Idaho and of course Backyard Harvest. We'll be expanding that, and then the Dry Pea and Lentil Commission. I always go between council and commission on that. So they'll partner with us on the last Saturdays of the month while we run our Chefs at the Market program.
Oh, that's so cool.
And they table with information and recipes and
And lentils.
lentils and garbs and all the peas and all the kind of fun stuff. So.
Doesn't Grimman helps out with some of the Grimman Medical Center, or maybe I'm wrong?
We haven't partnered with them since I've started.
Okay. Maybe
I know we've
maybe it
done
was
so in the past, and
dark ages
in,
when I was part of it.
and that door is still open as far as
Oh,
I'm
sure.
concerned. So
Yeah.
we're just
Okay.
trying to get all of our ducks in a row.
Thanks. I feel like you did a farmer's market report.
Yeah, really. We're all right now. Okay, any other last questions?
Thank you for all your
Looks
work.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job, Daniel.
Thanks.
Okay, that is the last item on our agenda, so I would entertain that motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Right on. You want a second? Excellent. Thank you.